get a lot of questions about superfoods and caution foods, so we thought this would be a good topic, and hopefully it'll help you in your first place journey. First of all, on the superfood side, and I love this slide, Lisa Lewis made this slide, and I just think it's so cool with the punching fists there together. But superfoods have health benefits well beyond basic energy. And for those of y'all who've heard me speak before, you've heard me say energy is just code word for calories. So there's much more to superfoods than just the calories they contain. There are a lot of different things in them. Super nutrients. And as far as another type of thing about them, they are disease fighting. There is a ton of research about superfoods and a healthy diet overall that includes superfoods that shows how many different things you can help to prevent health-wise if you eat these types of foods. Pretty much they are all what we would term now whole foods or clean foods, very close to the way God made them, not minimal or no processing in many cases, so that things aren't taken out of them that God put in there for us. And in the first place food plan, we have made these prominent in each food group, putting them first in the list of foods that are recommended in each food group. And they should be prominent. We want them to take a major spot in what you eat every day. But on the flip side of that, we have the caution foods, which are usually higher in something that isn't so good. So higher in calories, higher in fat, higher in sugar, or maybe just higher in some additives that can take away from the nutrition benefits of those foods. And then high intake, research shows, causes a higher risk of many harmful health conditions, which is completely opposite of the superfoods. A lot of people call these foods junk foods, but in the first place for health food plan, we have the caution foods listed last and just saying that they should not take a prominent place. And some of the caution foods aren't actually what I would call junk foods. For instance, full fat cheese is under caution foods in the dairy group just because it has more saturated fat, but it still does have some nutrition in there with the protein and the calcium from the dairy products. But a lot of times junk food is just the easiest way to remember caution foods. And then another term that we've learned, especially in weight loss efforts, a lot of times these caution foods are what I would call a trigger food. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along. But first of all, I did want to mention in My Place for Nutrition, the book that Helen just showed you, there is a special handout that's dedicated to superfoods. And it's on page 104 of My Place for Nutrition. And it has, and I can show it up, yeah, let me hold it up here. And it's on page 104, and it's called Join the Superfoods Fan Club. And I had a lot of fun with that one because I am a big superhero fan and a superfoods fan. So I tried to combine those two things in that handout. So a wellness worksheet, as we call it in there. So I hope you'll give that a look if you haven't seen that yet. Okay, now we go back to the superfoods and caution foods slide just for a second. And I did want to mention one more thing about caution foods. They're listed in the food plan, but they are supposed to be infrequent. And they are, a lot of times the portion size is very small for a reason. It doesn't take very much of many caution foods to create a lot of calories and fat. So for instance, like in the vegetable group, potato chips are listed in the caution foods, and the serving size is 1 ounce. And that counts as some vegetable, but also 2 teaspoons of fat. And 1 ounce is like one of those little bitty bags. And I don't know about y'all, but a lot of times salty snack foods are kind of my trigger food. In other words, that's a food that makes me want to eat more of it. I'm not often satisfied with just a little bit. So that can be a trigger food for many people. Another thing that's a very small portion size would be something like in the fat group, one slice of bacon is a serving of a caution food in fat. So, you can have that, but you just watch those serving sizes very closely. And if you'll check out your My Place for Nutrition, it'll show you what serving sizes are good.